Have you ever wondered what happens when an ordinary citizen decides to hold the government accountable? In the age of social media and YouTube, a new breed of activists has emerged. First Amendment auditors. These individuals film in public spaces to test and assert their constitutional rights, often leading to confrontations with law enforcement and public officials. One of the most prominent figures in this movement is Sean Paul Reyes, better known as Long Island Audit. With over 960,000 subscribers and more than 500 million views, Reyes has made a name for himself by filming in government buildings and police stations, challenging the boundaries of the First Amendment. His mission, as he states, is to exercise my constitutional rights respectfully while holding public servants accountable through transparency and lawful action. But his journey is filled with controversy, legal battles, and a past that some say discredits his cause. Today, we're diving into the story of a man who has become both a hero and a villain in the eyes of the public. Early life and background. Before becoming a First Amendment auditor, Sean Paul Reyes had a troubled past. In 2013, he was convicted of robbery and served 3.5 years in prison. This conviction is frequently brought up by his critics, who argue that it undermines his credibility as an advocate for justice. However, Reyes has been open about his past, using it as a catalyst for his current activism. In several videos, he has discussed how his time in prison led him to study the law and understand his rights. I made mistakes, but I've paid my debt to society, he says. Now I'm using my knowledge to ensure that others don't have their rights violated. His story is one of redemption, showing that people can change and use their experiences for positive purposes. But that wasn't the whole story. His past continues to fuel debates about his legitimacy. Methods and techniques. So, how does Sean Paul Reyes actually conduct his First Amendment audits? Let's take a closer look at his methods and techniques. At the core of his approach is the use of a camera. Typically, he uses a GoPro or his smartphone to record his interactions in public spaces. These aren't just any public spaces. He specifically targets government buildings, police stations, and other areas where the right to record might be challenged. When he enters these spaces, he doesn't announce his purpose. He simply starts filming, capturing the environment and any interactions that unfold. This passive approach often leads to officials or law enforcement approaching him, asking what he's doing or telling him to stop recording. That's when Reyes springs into action. Armed with a deep knowledge of the First Amendment and local laws, he confidently asserts his right to film in public. He explains, often in a calm but firm tone, that he is within his legal rights to record in areas open to the public. But it's not always smooth sailing. Sometimes his interactions become heated. Officials might insist that filming is not allowed, leading to standoffs or even arrests. These confrontations are gold for his YouTube channel, as they highlight potential violations of constitutional rights. Critics argue that Reyes deliberately provokes these reactions to create sensational content. They say he walks into these situations looking for trouble, ready to capture any misstep by public officials. However, Reyes maintains that his primary goal is education, both for the public and for the officials themselves. By filming these encounters, he aims to teach people about their rights and to remind officials of their duty to uphold the Constitution. One notable example is his audit at the Berwyn City Hall in Illinois. Despite a sign prohibiting cameras, Reyes entered with his GoPro and refused to stop filming when asked. This led to his arrest for disorderly conduct, but the charges were later dropped, and he even sued the city for violating his rights. Additionally, Reyes often uses live streaming to engage with his audience in real time, allowing followers to witness events as they happen and participate through comments and support. Through these methods, Reyes has not only built a large following, but also sparked important conversations about civil liberties and government transparency. Rise to fame. Reyes launched his YouTube channel, Long Island Audit, in 2021, and it didn't take long for him to make waves. His first major audit at the Suffolk County Police Headquarters set the tone for what was to come. Filming in the parking lot, he was quickly approached by plainclothes officers who demanded to know why he was recording. The interaction, which was tense and confrontational, was viewed over 400,000 times, catapulting him into the spotlight. Since then, his channel has grown exponentially, amassing over 960,000 subscribers and more than 534 million video views by 2025. His audits, which often feature dramatic encounters with law enforcement, have resonated with a wide audience, making him one of the most prominent figures in the First Amendment audit movement. And what happened next would shock everyone. His audit at the Danbury Public Library in June 2021 led to 4 officers being disciplined, showing his real-world impact. Legal battles. Reyes has not only filmed confrontations, but has also taken them to court, achieving significant legal victories and facing some setbacks. One of his most notable victories came in his lawsuit against the New York Police Department. In April 2023, he was arrested for filming in the lobby of the 61st Precinct in Brooklyn. He challenged the NYPD's policy prohibiting filming in precinct lobbies, arguing it violated his First Amendment rights and state laws. The federal court granted a preliminary injunction, allowing him to record in NYPD precinct lobbies and setting a precedent for citizen journalism. "This is a victory for all Americans who believe in transparency," Reyes stated after the ruling. But not all battles were won. In Berwyn, Illinois, charges were dismissed, yet in Schenectady, New York, he was fined $370 for trespassing, highlighting the legal gray areas Reyes navigates. Controversies and public perception. Despite his legal wins, Reyes remains a polarizing figure. Critics label him a frauditor, accusing him of harassing public officials and using his past as a reason to doubt his intentions. His 2013 conviction is frequently cited by detractors, who argue that his criminal history undermines his credibility as an advocate for justice. Law enforcement officials have also pushed back, claiming his actions disrupt public services and create safety concerns. "He's not a journalist, he's a troublemaker," said one police chief. Another point of contention is the financial aspect. His channel generates substantial revenue, with critics arguing it drives him to create confrontational content. Yet, supporters see him as a champion for civil liberties, with comments like, "He's doing what many of us wish we could do, standing up to authority." This divide keeps the debate alive. Recent events. In July 2025, Reyes was involved in a highly publicized incident in Groton, Connecticut. He and his cameraman went to the home of off-duty Connecticut State Police Sergeant Brian Fahey to question him about his overtime pay. They brought a video billboard truck playing footage of a previous interaction with Fahey. When they knocked on his door, Fahey ordered them to leave. As they were leaving, Fahey allegedly came out with a gun and spat on Reyes. The police were called, and Reyes and his cameraman were arrested for trespassing, breach of peace, and voyeurism with malice. Reyes denied any wrongdoing, claiming he was on public property and that the charges were retaliatory. In a statement on his GoFundMe page, he said, "Fellow patriots, freedom isn't free. This isn't just about me. It's about a corrupt system that uses the legal process itself as punishment." He raised over $50,000 and started a petition for Fahey's prosecution, sparking a heated debate about journalist rights. Impact and influence. Regardless of one's opinion, Reyes has had a significant impact on civil liberties and government accountability. His audits led to disciplinary actions, like the Danbury Library case, and he claims to have conducted trainings for police departments on constitutional rights. "My goal is not to antagonize, but to educate," he said. His legal victories, such as the NYPD case, have set precedents for citizen journalism. Moreover, his work has prompted police departments to update training on handling First Amendment audits, with resources from the International Association of Chiefs of Police reflecting this shift. Whether seen as a hero or troublemaker, Reyes has forced a conversation about transparency and rights. Conclusion. From his troubled past to his rise as a controversial activist, Sean Paul Reyes's story is one of redemption, determination, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Through his First Amendment audits, he has challenged the status quo, sparked national debates, and held public officials accountable. Whether you view him as a champion of civil liberties or a provocateur, there's no denying the impact he has had on the conversation around government transparency and individual rights. As we navigate privacy, security, and freedom in the digital age, Reyes's work reminds us that the fight for our constitutional rights is ongoing. So, the next time you see someone filming in a public space, remember, they might just be ensuring that your rights are protected too.